Boingo's gonna edit this, so hi Boingo.
It's a high-tech weasel.
Hi, Boingo. I hope you do something silly that I'll never see and know.
Yeah. Alright, both weasels are in. Alright,
The weasels are in.
Cody, before we start interviewing our guest, I need to ask you something. Have you listened to any of the songs in the new Kendrick album?
I caught one of them randomly. I didn't even know a whole album dropped. I only listened to a very quick one. Unless the album came out like today, then I only did.
It came out yesterday, as of the time of recording this.
I think it was like either yesterday or the day before where I saw like one video.
Everyone's been making mustard memes. I'll put it that way.
Oh, that's what that is. Mustard.
Yeah, mustard. Okay. It's from the TV Off song. Turn the TV Off. It's a really good one.
That's crazy. There's a whole new fucking Kendrick album. I'm gonna have to experience that as soon as the podcast ends.
Yeah, I'll give you the link when we are done. But for now,
just go on YouTube.
Yeah, I was gonna give you the link on YouTube. But for now, hello everybody. Welcome to another Boingoless Modular Components. I'm your host Buster. We have our co-host Cody.
Hello, I'm Cody.
And we got a special guest today. Another one of my friends. Introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Daniel Goldhorn. You can find me on YouTube at Daniel Goldhorn. And I like talking about movies and sometimes some games and just kind of random stuff that I want to talk about.
Yeah, well, then you get to the right place because we usually just kind of shoot the shit of whatever's on our mind, but we'll try to have a little more structure. I do have the topics you sent me. I do have them on a Google Doc just to touch on to make sure we touch on each of them throughout the episode.
And it's and again, it's kind of like a list of here's things that I think we might both be interested in, but it's not like we have to go through all of them. It's just here's things.
I like to learn about new things too. So it's if you have anything you just think hey, I want to talk about it, just go ahead and yap.
Sounds good. We'll do that.
We are pro yapping here.
Yeah, that's what podcasts are, pro yappers.
Here we go. Well, hey. Where do you want to start off then for tonight?
I guess how we met, because I always especially recently, I always talk about this is how I discovered the guest I put on the podcast, just to give a little backstory, a little lore before we head into the media discussion part. It was same thing as Amelia. It was the Patreon Discord of Shaperless.
I was gonna say because I think the last time it was Amelia. You're talking to them, and you're saying we were both in the Shaperless Productions Patreon Discord, and that's where we met because we have.
I think I did
vibe
see
with each other.
Yeah, I think we did. I did see a couple of your videos and recommendation feed on my YouTube. So hey, the algorithm worked somewhat for a while.
There we go.
So I specifically the Mulan one. I kind of at first I didn't really give it attention, not because of not because of your avatar, just because it's oh man, I'm getting so many Mulan videos. I need a break, It's but I did eventually. It's a good video, even if it is your first major one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's that first video. Oh no. Oh no.
First videos are always going to be rough, even if you've rebooted your channel multiple times like me. Where it's but you've been doing great work recently, I'd have to say. I haven't watched the Blair Witch video yet just because I've just been busy and just messy, but I really enjoyed your Zootopia video. And of course, I gotta mention the Dougal video, which is your current magnum opus. It's a video so iconic to me that when you asked to be drawn, I made you say Dougal.
Yeah, that is absolutely my proudest project that I've worked on so far.
Yeah.
That is something that I've really, because when I started it, I had no idea how big it was going to be. I sincerely thought it was going to be a small video.
They always start that way.
And then I just kept digging and I was like, wait a minute. Because, it was based off of a cartoon. And a lot of videos that have talked about Dougal have mentioned, it was based off of some random cartoon. And I wanted to find out more about that. And then I discovered it was this big thing back then. And then my luckiest break was I just emailed Paul Bassett Davis saying, hey, would you be willing to help me with this? I legitimately did not expect him to reply and say, yes, I would love to help you.
Yeah, that's the thing about just any kind of creative project. Everyone, I feel like this is the thing. Everyone's so afraid to like just go ahead and ask someone for help or ask like, should I ask a person? And like usually most people are like, yeah, hell yeah, I'd love to help. But it's like we all have those nerves of like, oh, what if they say no? What's the worst they can say? But it's like, nah, it's like just shoot your shot. If they say no, it happens. But like if they say yes, you just got a major W. So
yeah, and I think that's one of the things that really helps me to keep up the quality of videos, because I always like to credit people, where credit is due. In fact, in the Zootopia video you mentioned, you actually helped me with that script.
yeah,
And in a lot of my videos, you'll see Reynard. I do a podcast with Reynard.
I go to the Fox, talk about movies.
Yeah, he's one of my closest friends. And one of the things that's nice is that he's a close enough friend that he can be my no man. Because like I will, if I'm working on something that's kind of hard, I'll be like, hey, I drafted this. Can you read it? And he's a good enough friend that he will tell me, hey, this doesn't make any sense, or this doesn't seem like a good idea. Why don't you try this different approach?
Yeah, I've had that like thing before with like friendships where it's like it's all a yes man, and I feel like I fall under that, but I feel like I when I know quality, I see it. Um, I think I'm a bit like nervous about like expressing no, but like I'm trying to get better at it, like and try to like help like give feedback and shit. But like that is a very important trait to have when in terms of like reviewing scripts. Like you just got to be like put your foot down and be like, I don't think this will work. Let's try this instead. You know?
Right. And that helps to make the end product all the stronger.
Yeah. Like you don't want to you don't want to like say no to like a personal voice. Like if it's a personal touch, then like you then like you don't want to water it down. Because I feel like sometimes I fall into that trap where it's like I remove so much of my personal touch that it's just like, oh, it's just bland shit now. But like at some point you do gotta like figure out, okay, what's working, what's not. It's a whole thing. Video scripting especially is like it's fun, but God, it can be stressful.
Oh, I know. I'm working on a script right now, and it's a long ways away from being ready.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm still kind of compiling information. I'm still getting an idea of how it's even going to be structured. And it's gonna be a long ways away, but these are the kind of videos that I find the most rewarding.
Yeah. Like it definitely like even if it is tricky, it is gonna be pretty rewarding when you get it all said and done. What else? What else?
I'll tell. Well, I actually saw this movie recently.
Oh.
It's been a little bit out of the way. And I thought it'd be nice to kind of bring it up here, give it a little bit of a spotlight that it sorely needs. Have you heard of this movie called Wicked?
I knew it. I was either gonna be Red One or Wicked. I knew.
No.
I don't want to talk about Red One.
You already did a podcast on it. You're fine. You've been you're out of the Red One minds for now.
There we go. I'm in the Wicked minds instead.
Oh yeah, is that gonna be like the next podcast episode?
Mind.
We were thinking about it, but we don't really know yet, because we just kind of do whatever we want. Like when Dune Part 2 came out earlier this year, we talked about Dune 1984 instead.
Nah, based.
Yeah, sometimes we'll just be like, oh, we'll do something that's kind of funny. Like, if there's a big movie that came out, we'll be like, oh, we'll just do something random instead.
Yeah.
But no, all this to say, I actually did enjoy the movie.
Everyone's been enjoying it, which is kind of crazy after like all the controversy and like hoopla and stuff.
What it honestly reminded me of, and this is because the marketing campaign for this was so aggressive. Do you watch Pinely on YouTube?
Pinely. I've seen his thumbnails in the recommendation feed. I have not watched his videos.
So he did one that's kind of talking about oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying I know nothing.
He did one recently where he was talking about the marketing campaign for Wicked, and they went so overboard. They changed the lights on the Arc de Triomphe in Paris to pink and green for this movie.
The movie doesn't even have that much pink and green from the trailers, huh?
It is wild. And what it reminded me of was last year when The Flash was coming out.
Oh.
And that was everywhere. And then the movie came out and it was bad.
So it's like a reverse of that?
Yeah, I was fully expecting like this, like, because it kind of got to a point where it was so overbearing that it's making me not want to see the movie. I was like, I don't want to hear about this anymore. I was like, I'll see it. I'll capitulate. I'll see it. And then I watched it and I'm like, God damn it, I'm enjoying this.
I'll check it out when it comes on digital. I'm definitely interested now. I'm not sure about part 2. I heard part 2 is the act 2 of the musical is one of the weaker acts, but like maybe I'm just listening to the wrong person. Who knows?
Maybe. Yeah, we'll see. Is because I haven't seen the musical, but I've read the book Wicked.
Yeah.
I didn't particularly care for it, but I liked this first part. And honestly, seeing it, because one of the big things that people have been talking about is that why is it so long? The whole musical is 2.5 hours. Why is part 1 2.5 hours? But having actually seen it, I'm now thinking they probably made the right choice here because I don't see where they could have cut from this movie. Everything feels very seamlessly woven together.
Yeah, like everyone's been saying, like it feels like its own good story. Like it doesn't need like it doesn't need like the part 2 feels like more of an exciting thing like this time around instead of like ah man we have to come back next year.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, and plus, it's already filmed, so we know it's actually going to come out next year.
Dang it, cough, Beyond the Spider-Verse.
We're not. We know we don't have. I was going to say Spider-Verse. God, that one.
I'm writing a video about Across, and it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong, it's a great movie even. But just man, having to talk about the production stuff is gonna hurt my soul.
I know that's the thing with a lot of our favorite movies can end up having less than savory backstories.
I mean, hey, the Wicked had some controversy behind the scenes too, so it's like, hey, it is what it is.
There we go. It's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you feel about 2024 as a whole for movies?
I feel like this year has been. There was a bit of a dearth, especially in like the middle chunk of the year, I think.
Writer's strike, probably. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Because I remember being in the middle of the year, I was like, there hasn't been a lot of like really great stuff coming out. But then I was like, oh yeah, writer's strike. So I think that we're starting to get things back on track now. I mean, we still had some highlights this summer. We had Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Okay, I just watched a video about that movie. What the hell? What the hell? That's all I have to say. What the hell were they saying? What were they thinking?
How do you think I felt sitting in the theater?
And then, why did they make the porcupine a human? Was this supposed to be like a meta like thing? Like, ugh.
I don't know. I don't know. But then there was also the Crow. Let's not forget the Crow.
Oh, I forgot already.
And of course, Borderlands. Borderlands movie. Oh, and then
Cody, wait, like, because Cody has some connection to Borderlands. Cody, you like Borderlands, right? Like the games.
I have played every single game to an ungodly amount of hours. I was absolutely in love with all the characters. Yes, I'm a super fan. Yeah, I mean, I haven't even seen the movie
yet. Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to at all. They already annoy. Like, I try not to be a stickler about certain things, but like, man, they already showed me like in trailers. I'm like, they fucked all the lore up. They don't even give a shit. I don't care either.
Yeah. Like, it's a weird thing because I was talking to some random dude, some random asshole who's like, man, the Sonic and Borderlands, yeah, they love Borderlands with these guys, but movies are all fan service schlock, and I'm like, did Borderlands even have fan service? Like,
I mean, Borderlands, like the way that the jokes worked in the games, the jokes that they made, I could see as being like
no, I'm talking about like the movies, like the movies, like did the movies even like reference things from the games that like people would like clap at like Mario and Sonic would? Because I don't think.
I think the fan service is having Krieg there. I think that's the fan service.
That's lame. Just one character.
Like, the lineup doesn't make sense to the lore. Like, it's weird that Krieg's there just to begin with, just hanging out. I don't know. I really don't know.
Yeah, like
I guess like the fact that Lilith is Lilith.
They're at least like, well, say what you will them about as movies, but they're at least like they feel like part of the universes of the games, like very specific like ideas of those things. Maybe not ideas that line up one to one with a fan's perception, but they do line up. Borderlands just doesn't please anyone. Just nobody's.
The other thing is, like, you can't tell me that like the formula can't work with beautiful storytelling, because I loved all the Telltale games, and like those had strength to them. That was kind of more of like why the Borderlands 3 was that much more of like I kind of hurt a little bit, because it really felt like they were leading into something strong pretty much the whole game, but just kind of ends, kind of just stops.
Yeah. No, I get you. So sorry about that, Daniel.
You're fine. You're fine. It's
I mean, Sonic
I'm
3 is coming out soon. Sonic 3 is coming out soon, so who knows? We'll probably have another big video game movie discussion on the podcast eventually.
Sonic movie 3.
Yeah,
Here
man.
it comes.
The marketing did its first miss for me, because they got a country singer for the main theme song of the movie.
Jelly Roll.
And I'm like, yeah, and it's a fine song, but it doesn't really fit like the tone of the trailers so far. I'm not saying like the trailers are serious, like there's still good jokes, but like for a movie about Shadow the Hedgehog, why did you pick a country music? I always expect some like metal, some techno. I don't know.
You gotta go with like the 2000s era, like emo rock kind of thing.
Like I still get I don't really care which artist they get. I just like the genre just doesn't really fit for me. Like I don't know.
And to be fair, I've never played any Sonic game. I have like no connection to the franchise. I'm just
I'm a big Sonic mark, so like I'm a bit more nitpicky about this stuff. Like it's not a bad song. It's just a weird choice for this specific movie. You know?
Yeah.
I really didn't know what to think at first whenever I saw Jelly Roll's name in front of us. And they already made some pretty interesting choices with music in the past movies that I like thought were cool, and then that was just like, fuck it, I don't want nothing.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I'll tell you what I'm really excited for this Christmas season. Nosferatu.
Oh yeah, Nosferatu. That same day as Sonic. I'm very excited for that.
Oh my god.
I'm very excited for that. Like I don't know why I'm excited though. Like I guess it's just, hey, it's a vampire movie that's getting a lot of buzz. I'm like, all right. I don't really have like any connection to anyone on the cast or crew. It's just the idea of it's Nosferatu in a modern age, and it's gonna be a not prestigious, but like a good, like everyone's hyping up as high quality. All right, you sold me. I don't know.
Does the name Robert Eggers mean anything to you?
No.
The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman.
Oh, Lighthouse. Okay, Lighthouse. Okay, you know what? Now I understand why I'm excited. Because it's like
Fancy Me Lobster.
What was that?
Is it You Fancy Me Lobster?
Don't think so.
Let Neptune strike ye dead Winslow. Hark!
Sorry about that. Rip all the headphone users.
I'm sorry. I didn't know that was
it's fine. It's fine. No, you put your whole effort into that scream. That is like more effort than I'll ever do in my entire life.
But no, I am really excited for this one because it's Robert Eggers.
Yeah. I still gotta finish The Lighthouse. I started it, but I never finished. I know I have that bad habit with movies. Which you finished first?
I was gonna say, well, first of all, The Lighthouse. Remember, 2019 was an amazing year for movies.
I'm half and half on that, mainly because of the blockbuster shit.
I'll have to be reminded of the movie because all I could think of is kind of sad, and I don't even want to say it.
Yeah.
Like Jojo Rabbit. There was
the last
good
Lighthouse.
God damn.
Little Women. There was Uncut Gems. There was just all kinds of amazing stuff that was coming up. Parasite.
Parasite. All movies I haven't seen.
It was it was a great year. But The Lighthouse was my favorite of that year. It was great. So good.
I do gotta watch it. I do gotta watch Lighthouse. I started it, but then I sometimes I get busy. Like how I got busy with watching Pacific Rim, and it took me a couple days to finish it.
Oh no.
All right, I guess that brings us to Del Toro stuff, because I know, Daniel, you're a huge mark for this director, like Guillermo del Toro.
Yes. I think he is legitimately one of the most brilliant minds working in the creative fields today.
I agree.
Yeah, he's great. Let me check. I'm looking at my letterbox to check which Del Toro films I've watched besides Pacific
We don't have
Rim.
to dive into it too crazy.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, not too crazy. I just want to make sure, just to know what I'm qualified to talk about.
If we dig into crazy, I will keep you here for hours.
Yeah. Okay.
My favorite Del Toro thing is just the video of him going like Baltan, like
oh yeah, from
whatever
the
he's
Ultraman.
at.
Have you seen this video, like Del Toro and the Ultraman kaiju?
I don't think I have actually.
Let me go find it.
Yeah,
he's just like the perfect like being. I don't know, just like seeing him gives me joy.
That's
okay. So
yeah,
I found a video about Del Toro in Japan that like has this clip, but it's like 10 minutes, so I don't know if I want to like let you share it in the chat right now. Just look it up later.
Yeah, I'll look it up later. Or like you can send it you can send me like a timestamped version of it after we get done with the podcast here.
Yeah. But I've seen 2 Del Toro films. I've seen other bits and pieces of others, but I need to like lock in for them, like to fully finish them. But the ones I've seen are Pacific Rim and Pan's Labyrinth. Now I love Pan's Labyrinth. Pan's Labyrinth's a great film. I have mixed feelings on Pacific Rim.
I'm curious what are your thoughts on that?
I wrote a big letterbox review. I don't really mention it on the podcast because we don't really have a lot of movie discussion. But like I do have a letterbox if you so choose to check out me movie opinions and shit. Let me check. What was my review of this? So here's the thing. I like the movie. I think, but it's just I feel like with how like hyped up it gets, it kind of felt a bit underwhelming. Like
I can see that.
Like and compared to like something like from what I've seen of his other movies, like both Pan's Labyrinth and like the bits and pieces I've heard about his others, it doesn't really have like as much the thematic weight as the other movies, which like I really wish it would have had, because it's like I know you could do a lot with like kaijus and mecha, but like especially I know Del Toro's a big fan of those things, so it just kind of felt like oh, it's the bare basics. Like the opening kind of had an interesting idea of like oh the Jaegers are like super popular and they've commercialized kaiju, but that's really it, and the rest is basically like a Saturday morning cartoon, which I don't mind. It's just everyone was hyping it as something a bit more, so that kind of like the movie was hyped up to me wrong, and also it's just sometimes it's just I don't know, I didn't really get that invested in the characters, like besides like a couple like funny moments. I don't know. It's a whole thing. I probably pissed off Simeon so much right now. Hi Simeon. Their viewer.
I mean,
it's
one of my like favorite movies for sure.
No, I get
but
why
I mean, it's
people
fun.
like
You're
it.
allowed to like.
Yeah.
Nobody has to like the same things.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. And honestly, like I do agree with you that it's definitely not one of his more thematically like deeper movies. And it's not thematically deep in the same way as like, you know, to take a recent popular example, Godzilla -1.
Yeah.
Which had a lot of stuff going on. Like Pacific Rim, like you said, does feel like basically like a Saturday morning cartoon kind of a thing, but in live action.
Yeah.
And
There's not a problem with that. I just like even by Saturday morning cartoon standards, I've seen better. So
yeah, and definitely, you know, it's one of those, you know, and like I said, I do think that among his filmography, you know, obviously I still enjoy that movie because I enjoy basically all of his movies, but
that's fair.
but I do think that is one of like the weaker entries, just because his other stuff is so good. Because again, Pan's Labyrinth, oh my god.
Y'all God, I love Pan's Labyrinth.
Did you enjoy Pinocchio?
I haven't watched Pinocchio yet, but like I think Daniel did.
I love Pinocchio. I'm working on a script right now talking about Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio.
Ooh, that's exciting.
I want to kind of talk specifically about themes of like fatherhood and contrasting that with the authoritarianism present through the character of the Podesta.
The main thing that made me, because like truthfully that's one of my favorite directors as well. But I grew up like a big fan of like the Hellboy movies. The thing that like pulled me in was the detail. Like the sheer detail, like the set design, the attention to like just color and everything else, and just how everything is just so always real. And that's why I also like that's one of my favorite things about Pacific Rim. They pay attention
it is
to like
computer
the
generated,
different,
but there's still like a tactile feel to the CGI.
well, in the scenes where you like see up close, like the costume design and stuff like that, like the suits, the different like nations, different like specific styles and stuff like that. Very kind of like Gundam Wing, or not Gundam Wing,
G Gundam
Fighter G Gundam.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just appreciate that level of
Okay,
detail.
for the context for Daniel, since he doesn't know Gundam, G Gundam is the Gundam series where there's Gundams all over the world. Like every nation
Tequila
has
Gundam
a Gundam.
is Mexico Gundam.
Yeah, and I was actually gonna say, because you were talking about like the level of detail and the costumes and everything, you want to know an interesting story about the production of Pacific Rim.
Sure.
Now, I don't know if everyone listening here is aware, but do you know about how the Pentagon can influence Hollywood movies?
Yes.
You know, and for those who don't know, basically, while it isn't the Pentagon can outright say, "Oh, you have to make your movie like this," they'll say, "Oh, we'll give you some equipment they can use as props. You can save a bunch of money, and in exchange, we get to tweak things to make them more appealing to us." And in the production of Pacific Rim, they were, they came to
that's what happens with the Michael Bay Transformers movie.
Oh yeah, so it's like,
Wait,
you mean to tell me they think that the military-industrial complex has some influence on the Michael Bay Transformers movies? I could never tell. I could never tell.
I mean, I figured they had agreements to borrow like the AC-130 and like talk about the specific rounds. I guess I never just assumed that it was being influenced inversely.
Yeah. It's a whole thing.
But what's nice that with Pacific Rim, they were telling Del Toro's like, hey, the character of Idris Elba, right? And he was like, you should like make him wear like, like a proper military uniform, and like, people treat him this certain way. And Del Toro said, no, I'm not doing that. And so they didn't put forward money for this movie.
Oh, my respect for like is a bit larger. No.
Yeah, like he is very, very brilliant. Because again, you look at Pan's Labyrinth, you look at The Devil's Backbone. Just going to casually drop my favorite movie of all time in this conversation.
It happens.
You look at The Shape of Water, and those three, I think, are the reasons that I love his filmography. Like those three for me are perfect 10 out of 10 movies. That have so much to say, that have a beautiful way of saying it, that move my heart every time I watch them. It's because he has a lot to say about, especially when it comes to, again, the Pinocchio, Devil's Backbone, Pan's Labyrinth, about the nature of fascism, about the nature of obedience and disobedience, and how disobedience can be a virtue in itself. Not just, oh, I'm going to disobey bad orders, but disobeying in itself can be a good thing. And that is the prevailing theme of Pan's Labyrinth. Whereas The Devil's Backbone is a bit more focused on Spain in particular, the Spanish Civil War and the Franco regime that followed after that, and how Francisco Franco still casts this long shadow over Spanish politics. There's still a very intense debate about people who say either he was this cruel oppressor, or if people say, no, he saved the country from communism. And, those tensions are high, and that conversation is still ongoing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess that's just like a little bit like to add extra feels like, man, he could have done just a little tad bit more Pacific Rim's themes, but it is what it is. I am glad lots of people enjoyed the movie. It just theoretically, when you put it down the concept of Pacific Rim on paper, it should be the one I love the most. But it is, it is what it is. Been saying that a lot.
I get what you mean, because you are a lot more in that like subgenre as well. You've seen a lot of those.
Yeah,
I haven't seen as many as you have.
Yeah, I know. Like I'm very knee deep into those mecha tokusatsu spaces, so it's like I mean, I don't like to get like Japan can only do this right, because like that's just one. It's kind of like weirdly nationalist in a weird way, a very weird way, of like a country I'm not even from. And two, it's just no. I've seen good Western mecha be done before. It's just like like it didn't quite scratch the itch I was looking for from like a Western mecha, but it is what it is.
I think one of the things I do like about it is the fact that it is pretty like has that kind of like wholesomeness to it. I think where as one of my earliest videos. So again, it's not very good, but I was talking about Pacific Rim and its sequel.
Oh.
I
have not seen Uprising yet.
I am so sorry. Give me just a second.
All right.
I'm getting a call from work.
All right.
Just a moment.
Yeah, mute yourself.
Play the intermission.
Hello?
Boingo, play the intermission.
How can I help you?
Come in with the music.
Feel fair music. All right. I think Potato forgot to mute them.
Oh, we send it through the third party. So and sometimes they don't send our messages through. That is, yeah, I'm very sorry. So, what is your?
All right. I'm trying to server mute
So
Daniel right now, just while they finish up the call. So Cody, how you've been? It's been a week.
It's been kind of a rough week.
Yeah, felt that. My room's been getting redecorated, so it's been stress about that.
Maddie had to put her dog down this week.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Cody.
I was up there for her and everything. It was a sudden thing.
Yeah, it happens. But you know how if you need to talk, let me know.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm all right. It's a lot easier for me for a lot of reasons. Just because I didn't get to be around them as much as I'd like to be or have liked to been. But also I'm pretty much when I'm not around her, I'll be upset about it. But whenever I am around Madison, I'm usually just keeping Maddie distracted and trying to keep them strong and sturdy, and they're doing a really good job of it. But yeah, but other than that, I mean, it was an okay week, start to finish. Work's been going really good and everything like that. It's just a little bit of a sourness, a little bit of a hurt. Oh
yeah, also Daniel's back. Sorry about that. You just forgot to mute yourself, Daniel, and I was like, I don't want your call accidental I don't want you're accidentally getting doxxed on screen.
Well, you can just cut that out, right?
Yeah, we try to, but I'm not sure if Boingo will catch that. We'll see, because sometimes our editing is not the most complex, so
okay.
We kind of we're it's all Boingo figure that out.
Yeah, just okay, so we're back. Sorry about that.
You're fine.
Yeah, I am on call for the evenings. But in exchange for that, I get free rent. So I'm not too upset.
Give me
about
rent.
That. Give you rent. Hell and you fix this damn door. Oh yeah. So Pacific Rim. Again, I think one of the things I like about it is it has that kind of wholesome energy to it. And this is one of my first videos, so it wasn't very good, but it's talking about how, it's kind of nice to see that there's a spirit of humanity actually came together to fend off this existential threat. And just a lot of subtle things, you never actually see any carnage during the movie. And while citizens will be put in danger, they're always saved by over the course of the film. This ethos does not translate into Pacific Rim Uprising.
Damn.
I'll say the best way for if you want to like Pacific Rim more than you do, watch Pacific Rim Uprising, and then Pacific Rim is going to be Citizen Kane in comparison.
It probably will, but I do.
Tell.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go, Cody.
I was just going to say you could tell the lack of involvement. You could tell the creative drive, the wealth or the well there was not around. I remember reading around the time of the movie coming out, something to the tune of he wasn't involved with it anymore, but he left notes to point him in the best direction. And I just remember, I can't remember word for word, but I remember seeing that and I was like, ah. And then I looked at the costumes and I was like, ugh. But there's only 2 RoboCop movies. There's only 1 Pacific Rim movie. That's just how it goes, I mean.
Is RoboCop 2 even that good? I heard it wasn't even that
good enough for me to say there's only 2 of them.
You know what? Fair. That's fair. Actually, that brings us to another topic. Bad movies, because I know you like bad movies, Daniel. You have a fascination with these things. How you feeling about what's some classic or modern bad movies you've been have been racking around, living rent free in your head?
Well, earlier this year, we were treated to a very lovely Valentine's Day treat.
Oh, I know what's coming.
Madam Web, truly the cinematic event of our lifetime.
The movie that was so bad. The movie that was so bad. Daniel, I literally went in our friend VC we gotta watch this right now if Daniel's having this fun of a time. I literally, like, midway through the day, I went to a site to grab the movie, and I told everyone we are going to watch this, and I kept repeating the phrase "movie magic" every time something quirky happened. I'll put it that way.
I remember because I saw it in the theater.
Yeah.
And then I rushed home, and by the time I got home, you were getting this put together, and then I watched it a second time the same day with all
I'm
of
so
you.
sorry. I am so sorry. That is
one of my favorite movie watching memories now is sitting there, and she talks to her partner. She's like, "Ben, come on," and everybody goes, "Daniel, she doesn't mean that Ben, right?" And I just started laughing and laughing.
What a movie.
What
might be
the movie of all time.
The movie of all time. Between that and Venom 3, what's even the point anymore, man?
Speaking of God.
Oh, Craven.
Oh no. Last year, I did a video on what is my least favorite movie.
That movie.
Finding Jesus. Finding Jesus.
Cody, have you ever heard of this movie?
I grew up Christian, so it sounds like some slop like that. I could probably think of it enough to know it, but
this isn't even a movie. This is an audio-visual file that does literally nothing right. Like think of the worst movie you've ever seen, right?
Hodge Saves Easter.
Yeah, I'm like, that's from the same people.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, do not watch. No, here's the thing. You know why it's so bad? I couldn't finish it. Other bad movies, I could finish. This one, nah.
I'm trying to think.
Transformers 4 for me.
Oh, that's a bad one.
Oh, that was almost Ghost Rider 2.
Oh.
Ghost Rider 2 is the only movie I've physically, like, without control, stood up to leave. I was like, no, this is a waste of my own time. And I love Ghost Rider too. Like, it was just, I was hurt by it.
Oh, damn. Those are like blockbuster movies. We're talking about like is direct to DVD, bottom of the barrel, bargain bin slop right now. We are going even further below than the worst of blockbuster.
Let me give you some perspective. Do you know like those horrible Video Brinquedo movies, the ones that are like Ratatouille?
Yeah, like the
Little
rip-off
Panda
movies.
Fighter, like that level there.
Yeah.
Now imagine a movie. Now think of those movies. They at least had different scenes and different character animations, and they had something resembling a plot. A terrible and repetitive plot, but a plot. Finding Jesus digs like the Video Brinquedo is like hit the bottom, kept digging. Finding Jesus somehow drills even further down.
It's bad. Like that studio's just and it's like I feel like that shit's gonna get even worse with like AI, Gen AI, but like don't even like for me it just don't even bother with those kinds of things. Like I feel like YouTubers who are like making videos being like, oh look at this generative AI slop, it's like you're kind of part of the problem because they're pointing and laughing and giving it attention. Just don't show it just in case, just that for me the Gen AI art needs to be obscured for like nobody to see. That's kind of my view on it. Anyway,
I unironically think generative AI would have produced something better than Finding Jesus.
Oh my god.
There's so many, like, there's audio errors, video cutting errors, like effects will just kind of pop into existence and then like be removed. I legitimately think that's worse than an AI generated movie. I would sincerely stand by that statement. The Finding Jesus made me believe in objective media analysis because I found something that is objectively bad.
Yeah,
that's pretty strong.
That you could say you had a religious experience.
Like it was. Anyways, I'm really looking forward to Craven this year.
No.
Get back. Like pull back. We've stared into the abyss. We've stared into the darkest abyss. I'm gonna lose my mind again.
Oh my god, because my video already ended with poor little Daniel in a straitjacket.
Yeah. Oh, that video was really good, but like it's probably your most quote unquote traditional video. like a traditional question mark, because it's still like a real well done video. It's just compared to like your other like video essay analysis, this felt more like let's tear apart this bad movie. Granted, it's a movie that deserves the more traditional bad media breakdown, but still, it's like I don't know. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
and
I'm not critiquing the video. I'm just saying compared to like your other stuff, it feels more traditional.
like, yeah, it's like the kind of stuff that like dare I invoke the name of the nostalgia critic?
I reference him all the time. Don't worry.
But it's like, yeah, kind of like from that more era there, and definitely it's like it's a little bit different. I wanted to kind of give it a shot, and it was fun to make. Don't get me wrong, but I think I do get more out of the more research heavy kind of videos.
Yeah, the more analytical, like let's look at this whole topic.
Right. And it's also kind of fun because the artist on my channel, wonderfully talented person named Ridian, we've been working together on this for 4 years. He's actually getting
the channel?
Yeah.
Right.
And what I do is that I come to him and say, hey, I need like these poses for Daniel. I want to do something a little more out there, that kind of a thing. And let me tell you, this man has the skills of an artistic god. From like you give him a blank canvas and say like, okay, draw me an on model original character for Avatar The Last Airbender, and he'll have it done in 60 seconds with clean line art.
That's crazy.
This man is incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah,
does he have like commissions open or
I'm not sure where he has those open now, because like in the past few years he's gotten busier with his real life job.
That's fair.
They've actually been commissioning him for some stuff. I usually had his Twitter link in there actually, and now that I think about it, I should probably talk to him and be like, hey, do you want me to update that? Because I don't think he's on Twitter anymore.
Nobody's on Twitter anymore. Nobody. I mean, like, yeah, I even convinced Cody here to move to Bluesky just so we can all have the consistency.
Bluesky,
yeah, Bluesky, Skeeter. See, when I first heard the term skeet, I thought Skeeter from Doug. Oh
no.
Well, I have not watched a single episode of Doug. I just think that's a funny name, Skeeter.
It's a lot more chill, which I appreciate, because even before Elon Musk took over the platform, it pretty bad.
Fun. Yeah.
It
just like it relied too much on like dunk content. Like it's like I mean there's a time and a place for like drama or like let's dunk on this bastard, but like not all the time, man. It's like this is supposed to be a recreational thing, not like a job,
Right, it's like every now and then you get a James Somerton and you gotta
like everyone will like come on. Well, that's more of a YouTube thing than like a Twitter thing. But like I know a lot of the big events happen on Twitter, like him exposing his private parts.
that man was.
He's gone now, Daniel. He's gone now. We don't have to worry.
Yes.
Unless I jinx it and he gets it to some more shenanigans next week.
It confirmed the worst. Somehow James Somerton returned.
No.
Somehow. Palpatine.
Yeah, Cody. Cody's the best. Here's the thing I need to explain to you, Daniel. Like, Cody's like the biggest Star Wars mark of all of everyone in here. He genuinely enjoys things. I think even still he hated the Rise of Skywalker.
I had problems with a few things, but like I could still get enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's visual effects wise. I think it like saves it from. That's why it's not like an awful movie. It's like it's just a bad movie to me. It's just the visual effects really save it.
I'm a fan of the expanded universe. I'm just not a fan of how the 3 movies feel like they're arguing.
Oh yeah, behind the scenes they were. So
no, I mean watching them in theater, it feels because they do things that contradict the last movie to try to course correct. And it's one thing to be like, oh, this is just how it's happening, so you have to accept it type of course correct, or just like, oh no, that's the character explaining it to me. And now I just immediately understand what it really is, and I don't really that kind of sucks me in too. But My issues lie more with aesthetic choice, not anything else.
Yeah, for me, it's
also a whole. We don't have to get too into Star Wars.
I was gonna say, it's like I don't know if I want to talk about Star Wars.
Nah, I just wanted to explain, like, Cody's like, pretty chill about Star Wars. Like he's a good Star Wars fan. He's not a bad Star Wars fan.
Oh,
yeah. Truth be told, I feel like there's been I don't want to say like a decline or something, but I feel like popular culture isn't what it was like 5 years ago. Even there's
because granted, it's ever shifting landscape.
Yeah, but it's because he had again, Game of Thrones collapsed. Star Wars, they can't get a movie off the ground. It's been 5 years.
Only Disney Plus shows, which even the good ones are still struggling.
Right, and one of the things that I was thinking about this, do you remember Collider?
Yeah.
It's kind of like one of those content mill kind of a things. It's every time there's something popular culture, they would put up, and they got hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They still have hundreds of thousands of subscribers on their channels. They can't get 1,000 views on a video. They will be talking. Yeah.
Can't believe I'm doing better than them.
It is, again, it's this big company, and I feel like, and again, maybe this is just me getting old, because again, I graduated from college in 2018, and I'm I got adult things to worry about now. But I still feel like I've generally tried to keep my finger on the pulse of popular culture, and things just feel so different now. It's so strange.
Yeah. A big thing I watched this, okay, so I watched, this is gonna sound weird, but bear with me, Daniel. So I watched this video on 2.5 Men's ending. Okay, weird start, but let me explain. And they mentioned, the video essayist, lowercase j, they mentioned something very interesting about how, even in the 2000s, when the internet, early 2010s, when the internet was more perfect, there was still culture was very monogamous, but now it's kind of expanded into all these subcategories, and it's all these niches and genres, which is, I think, I like, but I do understand people's frustration of there isn't a central pop culture thing anymore. It's just wherever your interest lies, and it's the big, especially the big franchise things, kind of collapsing under themselves and tripping over to get a movie out or not a streaming show out. It's just, you get what I mean?
Yeah, I get what I mean. Yeah, because now that there's so much extra digital space out there, people can kind of splinter off, and especially because nowadays you have different subsects of fans. You have people say, oh, we only want to pursue popular culture through one lens or another. Or people oh, we're going to, just things have splintered off, and I think that's just kind of a natural consequence of all this digital infrastructure we've built, where now it's easier to get into, I don't want to say echo chamber, because that's been so,
yeah, it's been a meme on Bluesky for a bit.
Yeah.
A more niche. I call them niches, I think. A more
that's
niche.
A good exact word for it. Yeah. Because you can kind of niche down. You can be more specific about things.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because you won't realize that there's this whole other parts of the internet that was right next door to you.
Yeah. For me, my kind of view on it is I don't mind, I don't mind what the, there's other issues I have with the modern internet, but in terms of, fandom space, I think it's okay, because it's hey, as long as people are having fun and enjoying themselves, which that's, my word, the issues come in, people, try to dunk on each other, but, as long as, you enjoy the thing you are enjoying, then yeah, if this is what you decide to, devote your fandom to, just go for it.
Yes.
Also just but dude, but then on the contrary side, I just don't really like staying in one place for so long. I don't just like being a tokusatsu channel. I don't like just being a movie channel. I don't just like being a cartoon channel. I like to do all of them at once, which granted is probably why my growth on my channel's been so slow. But it's also that's just how my brain works. I don't know if it's an ADHD or autism thing. It's just I want to do everything,
Yeah, and that makes sense, because there's a lot of you want to try new things out. You want to try to maybe try to build your own niche out of all the different things you have. Because obviously someone shares all those interests. It's you. There must be others out there.
Yeah, those are the other who are just so scatterbrained about like, oh man, I want to talk about this, but then I don't want to talk about this one. Like it just it's like I know exactly why my channel has been like super slow compared to like my peers who also started out like, but it's just I still having fun doing what I'm doing, so it's like I'm still enjoying like doing like, hey, here's a Kamen Rider video one week, here's like a cartoon video the next, here's like a little editorial piece. It just I just like doing a variety. Like I don't like staying in one box. It's physically impossible for me. I like exploring. I like going all over the place.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
And honestly,
that's how I collect toys.
Yeah.
There we go. I have one Pop Funko in my room.
That's Cody collects like
beat. I got like 6 Funko Pops.
Yeah, and I like Cody.
They're all sorry, they're all McDonald's chicken nuggets. Those are the only Funko Pops I have.
Honestly based. But yeah, Cody's a big toy collector, like action, like the 6-inch scale action figures. Like he's been collecting these things called we talk about them the last 2 podcasts, and this is like podcast 3. We're bringing them up. Blockies, like they're like little blockies. They're like little
blowies.
No.
Yeah.
Oh no.
No, it's like blockies where it's like these little buildable little action figures. They've been doing them for like Transformers and Kamen Rider in China, and they're finally making their way stateside. So yeah, apparently Cody said he saw some in Walmart, so I guess I got to go to my local Walmart just to look at them.
Yeah, they got picked up by Walmart pretty early on, but they've only had like series 1 and 2 in most. All of like the Transformer toy reviewers got sent copies of them, and half of them, like the first thing that they say in the thing, they're like, I actually saw some of them in my local Walmart. So everyone's just been finding it, or like they're just Blockies is really like pushing it. Either way, they worked. So, but if their goal was to like tap into like the Transformers like sub YouTube culture with their Transformer theme thing and have it be fun, then I guess. Sorry, it's my hyperfixation at the moment.
No, it's fine. It's cool to hear about.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I do all kinds of toy related things. I love me
Cody's room is basically like that. Like I've described this before on podcasts, but it's like that one kid who has all the cool stuff that you want to go visit just to see all the cool stuff. But also Cody's a really cool guy anyway, so it's like
it's okay. You could come to see the stuff.
No, bro. I'm not driving. Like, if I'm driving to Florida, I gotta be like, I'm doing that like for a good reason. I'm not driving just to see a toy store.
That's a pretty good reason to me. I mean, I don't know.
I don't have the money. I just spent a bunch of money on my first concert tickets. So yeah.
What concert?
Idol. They're a Japanese pop musician. They did all the songs for. I don't know. Dang it, Boingo would know about her because. She did all the songs for One Piece film Red, which is like a musical movie, it was a really good movie. But yeah, she's a great vocalist. I'm very excited to see it. The concert doesn't happen for like another 8 months until July, so I got time. I just I need to get the tickets now because it's like a touring thing. So yeah, I'm very excited. It's gonna happen at I think the United Center, which I've actually been to before to watch a couple sports ball games. So it's gonna be interesting.
The old sports ball.
Sports ball. Go sports team.
So what I do is because I usually don't follow football and everything, but I still like to watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And what I do is I'll invite a friend over. We'll order pizza, usually Little Caesars, and when the game is getting started, I look at the two teams and say, okay, I like that jersey color better. I'm rooting for that team.
No, that's honestly 100% fair.
That's how sports work. I'm sorry to break it down to you. That you found the core true moment, the true essence of sports. You find the color you like, or it's just localization.
There we go.
I love the Cleveland Browns. I love their uniforms. If you know anything about sports, that says enough.
Yeah.
It's like one of the worst teams.
But it is so I don't follow all the crazy stuff or anything, but I'm just we'll watch the game and then have the crazy commercial stuff that happens in between the plays.
Remember the QR code one? That was dumb.
I don't know if I remember that one actually.
I remember that because it's like but everyone in the house when we were watching it was like, oh, scan the QR code, scan the QR code. Then I just look at Twitter before Elon bought it, and it was everyone was like, this is a terrible QR code, don't scan it. I was like, oh.
Well, what did it do?
I think it was a crypto thing. I could be wrong though.
Oh, ew.
Yeah.
Ew. Oh.
Like at most, like Super Bowl is like for me a movie trailer fiesta, but I also do enjoy the halftime show, and I especially will enjoy it this year because Kendrick's gonna be there. And it's I get back to the beginning of the podcast when I talked about Kendrick of Cody. Hopefully, Boingo keeps that bit in.
God, Drake
Kung
is
Fu
probably
Kenny back again.
like quaking in his shoes right now.
He's been quaking in his shoes like for the last 7 months.
God.
He's probably not even leave the house. Yeah.
But yeah,
he deserves the fear.
Yeah.
Oh, I did want to say, because when we were talking about toys earlier, I actually got some toys on my shelf right here. I'm looking at right now. I got 4
Lackadaisy stuff?
That's right. Lackadaisy.
Yay. I guess that brings us to like indie animation, because that's been like a thing you've been investing in. Well, it's not investing. Investing sounds like you're like, oh, well, you are giving money to like these people, but like
I did
emotionally investing in.
To the I did contribute to the Lackadaisy backer kit. I did.
Yeah, I can't wait to see your name in the credits. I get to freaking squeeze my eyes, be like, there's Daniel.
I'm just checking the general chat, and I have seen those cats before.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen it all the way through, but I have seen them.
Yeah, the full pilot's on YouTube. Yeah, I have been like, I'm really excited for when the full like Lackadaisy season comes out. Like, I bet didn't they just release a preview for episode 1? Like,
yes, today? It looks so good. It's like just like the blocking of it, the way that it looks. It's just there's so much.
It just actually looks like a straight up 2D cartoon. Here's the thing I think people are gonna have to be okay with as indie animation grows. Jank. I mentioned this like I think a couple weeks ago, but it's like sometimes you're not gonna get the smoothest animation, but when you can get the smoothest animation, oh, it's gonna look great. Like Lackadaisy's like proven like, man, that's some high tier like studio quality animation. Like, but you gotta understand that's not gonna be everyone. Not everyone's gonna produce Lackadaisy level like bangers. It's just gonna, you know what I mean? Like,
right, it's like it looks so good.
I'm not trying to take away from it. It's like
no, yeah, this is like, yeah, it's like there's that, and I think we're really starting to see a lot of these pilots now that are coming out, and that's one of the things that's really great about the platform, because a lot of people have problems with YouTube, and to be fair, YouTube does have a lot of problems to it.
Yeah.
But I still stand by the belief that it is the best platform to build an audience for yourself, and is the best place to post. Because
a wide audience, like the algorithm sometimes works.
Right, like honestly, I mean, sometimes you got to really grind at it, but then you have somebody like Scaren J Zhao, who her very first video went viral because she was like, "Hey, I am a Chinese person, and I'm going to tell you why the new Mulan is terrible," and that let her build a platform that she could then
them for the record, they them.
Oh, they I'm so sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's fine. Yeah. Like it's fine, but like I just want to clarify.
They were able to get a platform so that they could sell their book more easily. They are an author, so they're able to use that platform that way. And they went on to talk about other media, talking about positive representations, or kind of like mixed bags, that kind of a thing. And you can't do that with a television network. You can't do that. But you can't, knock on the door of Walt Disney Studios and be like, "Hi, I have an idea." They're going to be like, "Get out of here. We're too busy with Ice Age 6.
Don't remind me. But yeah. Yeah, like I feel like YouTube is the best place to build like an individual. Please forgive my business language. It's going to sound cringe. Brand, but like where it's like you could cultivate like a creator, like the creator themselves can be a big star, like, and people will follow their big like work. Like, they'll follow them because of it's them instead of they'll following it because they created this or they made this video. Like people are following like personalities now, if that makes sense.
Right. Well, I think there might be a mix in there because I think that kind of makes it is the point where I'm like, oh, I really I follow Jenny because she makes all these great videos. Like,
Yeah.
I found her channel because she had a great roast of Crimes of Grindelwald back when I was still coping with that.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's all right. It's fine. I've moved on to acceptance. But yeah, and then her Spider Quest video, and then this year there was her Star Wars hotel review, which was amazing.
Yeah, everyone was talking. All the people on Twitter were talking about it.
But yeah, it's really and again, I really feel like this platform has so much potential, and it's starting to really get unlocked. I know that last time you and Amelia and all we were talking about like Amazing Digital Circus and Glitch Productions and how like they're able to harness this platform in a really interesting way.
Yeah, it's just interesting stuff happening on YouTube. I feel like I'm glad. Like, even if there was like, man, I wish I could get a bit of jealousy where it's like, man, I could spare some for the rest of us. But it's also like, you know what? Go ahead, like show, like be the proof, be the example for the future generations to take after. Even if the future generations are just gonna do content mill shit. God, don't
be the Mets,
again.
baby. Be the Mets.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
I've been on this platform since 2009. There's always been shit on here.
Yeah, there's always yeah.
I remember garbage. Yeah, back in my day, we called it "Get the Golden MP40" in Call of Duty World at War.
Oh,
it's Call of Duty 5 for those keeping track.
Wait, Cody, do you still play Call of Duty, or did you drop off of it?
I haven't spent my own money, and that was going to be the one thing in 2019 that I could think of that I liked was the new. That was the last time I got Call of Duty, the new 2019 one. But no, I play more Battlefield with Call of Duty. I haven't bothered with the newest one. They kind of just it's like a grinder, just disrespect.
Yeah, it's like games as a games as a service, or GAS as the people calling them. That's like the acronym, games as a service, GAAS, gas. Like they're just big grinds on the time. Like I don't even know how like you're able to play Fortnite so well, Cody, just because it's like there's so much grinding to it.
Oh, see, it doesn't. Well, we don't have to get into that.
Yeah.
No, I'm more into like zombies for Call of Duty. Which kind of makes me want to pay attention to the new one, but honestly not. I've just been lost, I guess. Normally, if a friend who like plays games with me on PlayStation has it, we'll play it together for like a little while. But like the enjoyment I'm getting is just like unlocking new things, plus like spending time with friends. So we have more fun playing Power Washer Simulator.
Hey, watch that power.
But yeah, but what I was saying again with because YouTube has always had stuff on here that wasn't great. Again, you got to keep in mind there was a point in time on here when the biggest channel was Fred.
Oh yeah,
that was like our first superstar was Fred Figglehorn.
Why that last name? Why that last name?
That was the culture back then, and. Yeah. And again, like honestly, I feel like where it is now as a platform, it is honestly easier than ever. Because back in the day, there was no you didn't know how to get monetized. It was just if you do well enough, then you get an email in your inbox and you're in.
Yeah.
You didn't have, there was no metrics to say like, oh, if you get this, then you can start monetizing. It's clearer than ever now. And I really appreciate that. And like I said, I've been here. This isn't my first channel. This isn't even my second channel.
Yeah. Oh.
Uh-oh.
I was uploading videos as early as 2009.
Oh.
Now,
were you secretly Bo Burnham?
I wish. I wish. Now those videos do not exist anymore. Because they're not very good. But that's one of the nice things here is that you can start over. You can say, you know what, I'm just going to step away from this and do this. And this is the first time with Daniel. This is my first time really trying to strategize. To be like, okay, I want to actually really do this. Try to make it a full-time thing. Gonna go at it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's been taking me in some interesting directions.
Yep. Sorry, it's just I just like yep.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Like I agree. I agree with all that stuff.
And I'm looking forward because I have some big projects coming up. I mentioned Del Toro's Pinocchio.
Yeah.
I want to do one about I'm actually editing this right now, Frostpunk 2.
Yeah, you're a big Paradox. Is that a Paradox one or is that a different one?
It's not Paradox, it's a different studio.
Okay.
But and then I'm probably gonna do a sequel actually to my Wish video last year with Moana 2. That's
well,
I have no hope for Moana 2.
Everything like from the time that first teaser was announced, I was like, this is a rush job. So what are we doing here?
I mean, what can you say? Except you're welcome.
Oh my god, no.
I can get like a freaking not Nightcore. What's the opposite of Nightcore? Like bass lower. Like what can I say? Except you're welcome. Like type.
What can I say? Except you're welcome.
Also, did you see Cody? Did you see the pictures for the live action set Moana?
Listen. I don't know. I don't know how y'all feel about it. I tend to like some. I liked Moana 1. I like The Rock sometimes, but like this quick, it just feels so fucking like lightning fast to see just like action.
Yeah,
and it's stepping on the toes of itself. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's like they already have a sequel. It's just clown car o'clock.
Literally. I mean, I don't mind like all the ocean themed stuff. But it's nice to just be surrounded by that routinely. That's why I like Florida, I guess. But like that steers me into thinking about Lilo and Stitch, and I'm like, I don't really want to think about them taking one of the
They already next year, Cody. Next year,
beautiful. I know. That's what I'm saying. I've seen how it's just not the same. Like you cannot mimic the beautiful colors and backgrounds and just very specific style. But hey, man, whatever. I don't have to go see it. I will see it probably in every toy aisle and everywhere part of the machine. But
it's really shameful. Disney just they're shamelessly ripping off their animated classics and turning them into live action just for a quick buck. DreamWorks would never ever do such a thing.
Glad we live in a world where
there is no live action How to Train Your Dragon. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not delusional. You're delusional.
The writers of Burke.
Okay, Daniel, I'm just saying, if that live action one is a success, what if they get so far as a success that they make remake the third one nobody liked?
Let me tell you something, because I recently rewatched those movies. And because I saw the third one in theaters and I was like, oh, I liked that. I thought I did. And then I rewatched it a couple years ago and I went, oh, why did I like this? Oh, no.
It sounded rough. I feel like, yeah.
I know, I know that like Shea Frillis, like he talks about like he likes that movie. And that's fine, but I can't get
Hey, I disagree with him on a lot, and I mean a lot of things. Bro, if I had like a nickel for every time, I'd be stinking rich for every time I disagreed with James on things.
Banking rich.
Man, I actually, because I was really into How to Train Your Dragon, and like 2014, 2015-ish, I was really into it. I wrote a fan fiction about it.
Hey, no judgment here.
It was actually this was a really interesting thing because it was basically novel length fan fiction, and it's kind of like what if like Hiccup turned to the dark side, you know, kind of like
what if Goku was betrayed and trapped in the hyperbolic time chamber?
Yeah, so again, this is the past. This is not great. But I got a message from someone who worked at DreamWorks YouTube channel.
Oh, I think I remember you talking. Continue.
Yeah, and I actually got contracted to write a couple of things for their YouTube channel around 2015. And it was so exciting. I was like, "Oh my god, that's so cool." And yeah, that was a lot of fun. But the fandom at that time was actually really bad.
Oh, a fandom for a DreamWorks thing being bad and shitty and weird? I've never heard that before.
It was like there was some next level drama here.
Like you don't have to go into it, but
I won't go into it. It's like let's just say it's the kind of stuff that I would have wanted us to put like trigger warnings at the beginning for, because
okay. Okay. You don't have to. It's that bad.
It was so bad. And it also got to the point where I just couldn't even watch the movies for a little bit. I was like, yeah, and like nowadays, like, yeah. But anyways, now it's like, you know, now I'm just in the lackadaisy fandom, which is fine, which is normal. We're chill.
I'm sure there's weird ones, but you know, they haven't shown their heads yet.
Yeah. Every place has weird ones, but it's just a matter of like
finding your group.
Exactly, finding your group, because you have, like, again, every group has their weird ones, but some places they get a little out of control.
Oh,
I was on Tumblr.
I've dealt with.
I was on Tumblr when Steven Universe was airing. I've been there. Yeah. I was there, Gandalf. I was there.
I'm so glad I did not use social media when Steven Universe was airing. I only used YouTube when Steven Universe was airing, and I was like,
I'm pretty much the same. I had a Tumblr, but I used it to reblog like pretty much anime cells from like Mecha. Continue. I still do, but like, yeah, because I watched Steven Universe as it aired, and I used to tout it as.
I still think it's a great show. Like, I think people are like people look like, because of all that fandom drama, people look back on it like harsher than they need to, you know. Or it's just like 2010 like early critic mindset that kind of got there's still in their brainworms, and I'm like, come on guys, come on.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But I don't know. I one day I hope I can talk about Steven Universe without starting a flame war.
See, one of the things that this is why I like the Lord of the Rings fandom, because the author is dead and buried. He can't go on Twitter to say stupid stuff. And the
Warner Brothers can go do stupid stuff, and Amazon Prime can.
Then you can just ignore it. You just be like, hey, we got our canon. This is good. All right, come in here. That's bad. Just ignore it.
Yeah. Oh, God. Have you watched Rings of Power, Daniel?
I watched like the first episode of the first season, and I remember thinking like I was like, it was all right, but
why is it the most expensive TV show of all time? That's what I'm asking.
Because studios don't know how to do budgets anymore.
That's what I'm saying.
It's like, why are these movies like $250,000?
Why are these TV shows so expensive? Like, and the worst part is none of this movie's going to none of that money is going to paying the artists who are still like struggling and have to like open up GoFundMe. It's all, we talk about that a lot, where it's like, pay me money. It's like pay me money. I do work. Pay me what I'm owed. You know.
So, like, how do you spend $300 million on an Indiana Jones movie? I will never be over that.
Oh yeah, that was a. No matter what you think of Dial of Destiny, like, what were we doing there? What were we doing there?
But yeah, I'm really excited for because there's one other project I want to do actually. That's kind of crystallized on my mind this month. I want to talk about. I want to do a video by January, kind of talking about hope in the Lord of the Rings or in Middle Earth in general, because I don't know if I've ever told you about how deep I get into the woods with. So, because I've read The Hobbit, I've read The Lord of the Rings, and I've read The Silmarillion.
Oh.
And I don't know if you're familiar with The Silmarillion.
Would you care to explain it?
So, Tolkien created this very vast mythology for the world of Middle-earth. To give you an idea of how vast it is, the Silmarillion is about 600 pages long, and the events of the Lord of the Rings, this trilogy of 3.5, 4-hour long movies each, takes up the last 2 to 3 pages of the Silmarillion.
Oh my god.
This is how much crazy stuff happened before all of those events. And what I want to do is talk about some of the different themes that happened in it, because Tolkien approached this world from a very interesting way, and there's a lot of really cool thematic stuff that I wish they could have dug into more with again, Rings of Power or this other stuff that's coming out, because they had a lot of concepts that were fascinating. For example, elves and humans were each created with different gifts. Like, people talk about, like, oh, elves are like more beautiful than humans and they live forever, which is great, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Oh.
No.
You see, elves in Middle-earth are immortal, yes. And in fact, even if they get killed in battle, they are reincarnated in the halls of Mandos and Valinor, which is the place they sail off to at the end of the movie, right? But that means they can never leave this world. Whereas humans, there are 2 gifts given to them by Eru Ilúvatar, who's kind of like, think of him almost kind of like an Abrahamic god. And then you have the Valar beneath them, which are like kind of like the gods, like a Roman or Greek pantheon, roughly. I won't get into it. But basically, humans have these 2 gifts. One of them is free will. Basically, that they're not beholden to go in one direction or another. They can choose their own destiny, which makes them unruly. And other peoples of Middle-earth are like, oh my god, these humans just cause trouble because they keep doing whatever they want. But also, death was meant to be a gift to humans, because then they would leave this world and go on to something greater, something that nobody else even knew what it was. Not Gandalf, not any of the Valar, only Eru Ilúvatar and the humans would know. And it's considered, because there's this first Dark Lord called Melkor, and one of his darkest deeds was getting humans to fear death. And so, and again, this is just like a little sliver of like the very fascinating things that the Silmarillion lays out.
That's pretty cool. I had some coworkers at my old job who were like mega into Lord of the Rings. I've like been familiar with it a little bit, but I've never gone too far into it myself. I guess I've always been around people, so I've always been adjacent to it. But this guy had like a bunch of like Lord of the Rings tattoos and stuff like that as well. But he talked a little bit about that, but he did not explain it. He's not somebody who would have been able to explain it in that way, but he did not explain it to that degree, or especially with the whole scale thing. That's very surprising to me. It's pretty interesting. Kind of makes me more interested in Lord of the Rings to know that there's that much going on.
Oh, it's incredible. But I really want to talk about, and I think this is a message that I would really want to get out there, is that there's this recurring theme. Sorry. Let me get some water real quickly. Actually, hold on, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
I
take
keep
your
you in
time.
suspense.
Suspense!
So, there's a recurring theme in The Lord of the Rings and the Silmarillion of the world being broken in some way. And I think what's interesting is that usually when you think of a hero's journey, when you're taught the concept, it's the idea that, oh, the world is broken and then it gets fixed, right? It's restored. That doesn't happen in Middle-earth. Things happen where it's like, because before the sun and the moon, there were these giant trees. I'm just going to skim over a lot of stuff here. Just take it at face value. Giant trees that were felled by a giant evil spider that sucked out the light from the trees. And then Melkor stole the Silmarils, and the elves tried to go get him back. Basically, a lot of crazy stuff happened, and they don't manage to restore things the way they were. But the world goes on anyways. There's the earth was created flat at first, and then God basically curved the earth because some of the humans did something really stupid. Again, I won't get into details.
Sounds about right.
But again, this is very much written like the grand mythology where you got to take it at face value that these things can happen. But the world still goes on. And that's kind of one of the great tragedy of the elves is that because they live forever, the world as they knew it keeps getting further and further away from the ideal that they were born with, that they first saw it with. It's like, have you ever, like, you think about where you grew up, right? And if you're still around there, you might see, like, oh, that store I went to closed down. This empty lot has built something in it now. And you kind of feel that little pang in you, right? Now, imagine that with like everything in all of existence where nothing is as you remembered it. And that's kind of what the elves kind of have to go through. But we humans, we're only here for a short time, so we don't feel the bite of that as strongly. And you look again at Lord of the Rings, where Frodo received that wound from the blade of the Witch King, and that never fully healed. That always kind of reminds him of what's happened. When they get back to the Shire, depending on, the movie version or the book version. The book version, there's a little battle that happens there. But in the movie, they get back and they're like, it's not the same. It's not the same. They saved the world, but not for themselves. And yet there's still beauty to be found in it. Samwise goes on to a successful life. He has a family. And, he becomes very highly regarded in the community. He's able to still have that even after all that has happened. And that's the kind of message that I want to kind of put out there is that, we're at a point right now where our world feels like it's broken in a way that we can never undo. And we can't undo it. But we can still keep pushing forward. The world can still be made good, even if it isn't the way it was before.
Hell yeah.
And
Hell
and
yeah. Times two.
Thank you. That's a long monologue. I know. I'm sorry. But yeah. By the way, I don't want to take up too much of your time. By the way, I'm seeing the
yeah. No, there's no. Okay, we've been going for a long time, and things are wrapping up, and things are getting a bit hectic, and I had to mute myself for a bit. So we're just gonna wrap it up. Plug your stuff, Daniel.
Yeah. So again, I'm on Daniel Goldhorn on YouTube. I'm also on Bluesky. Yeah, that's pretty much what I got.
Snowcone Cody, plug your stuff too.
My name is Snowcone Cody. You could find me at Bluesky Snowcone83 or however it works. I forget again. Never_robot on Instagramification if you want to see some pictures of some toys. And I should have some pictures of some blockies coming up here pretty soon, hopefully. I got 3 to mess around with and pose tomorrow. I'm pretty excited for, but I got a good shipment of 2 of them coming this way, and I should be able to bust out some pretty interesting photos with.
Hell yeah. And I'm Buster Corp, the host / the guy who's in charge when Boingo's not here. I do lots of videos on my own channel of various subjects. It depends on whatever I'm in the mood for. Just check it, links in the description for everything we talk about in this video. All of our links. And also, this has been Modular Media Components, not Modular Media. Modular Media is the name of the channel. Modular Components is the name of the show. But yeah, we do lots of funny podcasts here. We do interviews like this. We do just our own little shoot the shit discussions on whatever we're feeling. But yeah, that was this week's episode. We'll see you next week or the week after. We have a AF soon, which is our other show. But yeah, we'll see you soon for another Modular Components.